10 things a good man should never agree to with his wife in that framework and context, that if you somehow did these things, it would make your wife happy. She might not outright say in these things, if we do this, I'll be happy. But her coercing you and nagging you and getting you to feel sorry for her and pulling you into her story of why she needs these things implies to a good man that these would make her happy. It's an implied impression that these will make her happy, and leads good men to believe that if they did these things, it would solve some problem and his wife would finally be happy and content and they could have a nice, good relationship in marriage. Men, you have to retire from these things. The fact that you even think you need to do these things to make your wife happy tells you she is unhappy. Happy people don't need you to do things to make them happy. And with unhappy people, there's nothing you can do to make them happy. She will still be unhappy no matter what. That's like what we've been talking about. And it's also important good men understand you didn't get the wrong wife. You got a woman, and to a degree, we have this unhappiness inside of us that we think you're supposed to somehow solve, and then you buy into that. As women, we're just wired differently than men. We're wired to be unhappy. And the good news is that we can change it if we want to, and we're willing to take accountability. So this list of 10 things a good man should never agree to with his wife is important to know. This is in the context of a good man being coerced or being led to believe if he did these things, it would solve some problem and his wife would be happy. Of course, if these are things you and your wife decide you want together, that's a totally different story. This is just in the context that you believe if you did these things, even if you don't want to do them, again, it would solve some problem and she would be happy. So let's get into the 10 things a good man should never agree to with his wife, thinking it will make her happy. Number one, and also for the good men listening, you put in the comments or the chat, what are the things you've done thinking that your wife has implied would solve some problem and it would lead her to be happy? So fill in the gap of what I miss in this list that you've done or your wife is trying to get you to do. Number one, move to another city. I have talked to so many men who have been either in like a constant move because their wife, they move their wife and family to someplace. His wife doesn't like it and thinks she wants to be here now. So they move again and he's caught in that cycle, or men that have moved and gone to a new place thinking that will make his wife happy. And it might be, things like she wants to be close to family, or she wants to get away from family, or she wants to get away from your family. Or she's unhappy where you are at because it's too small and it's too small of a town and she wants to be in a big city. Or you're in a bigger city and she wants to be in a small town and she thinks that'll make her happy. Whatever reason it is, it won't make her happy. Number two, she wants to get a dog and wants you to agree to get a dog. That surprisingly comes up a lot, where the wife gets the kids on her team. We really want to get a dog and we want to get a puppy. And maybe you're not an animal lover and that you just don't want the responsibility, or if we get a dog or another dog, I'm going to be the one that ends up taking care of it because she's not going to take accountability for it and she's not going to walk it and do the work. So it's a red flag if she's trying to talk you into getting a dog for the family and to complete the family unit. And if we just had a dog or another dog or we got a puppy, that she would be happy. It is a red flag telling you she's unfulfilled and that she's not happy with what she has and that it's not enough and it won't make her happy. Number three, agreeing to let her quit her job and stop working. Again, that's a totally different topic if that's a value you and your wife have for her to be a stay-at-home mom and care for the kids, or to not work. The separate context. I'm talking about if she's trying to coerce you into quitting her job because she thinks she'll be happier not working. And say, can we please go down to one income? Can we make it work? And you might be thinking, I don't think that's going to be good for her, or it's not going to be good for our finances, and that's going to put a huge strain and stress on me and the relationship. And maybe you know your wife and know this is going to be a nightmare if she's home all the time. So agreeing to let her quit her job and stop working under the guise that she thinks that will solve some problem and make her be happy, it won't. Some of the most unhappy women I have worked with over the years are those who quit their jobs and quit working thinking that that would make them happy. The problem is there's no structure in their day, especially if they don't have kids at home or kids are in school, and they've got a whole block of time through the day to do whatever or to do nothing. There's no structure. I won't get too much on this because this can lead us way off into a tangent. I have learned structure is key to feeling fulfilled and content in life, and parenting ourselves within that structure. It helps add meaning and purpose and allows us to actually move forward so we don't go in circles. It's imperative. I'll do another video on that another time because it's a pretty big concept, and being happy and having a healthy relationship with ourselves is having structure in life. But the problem with being home, there's nothing to get up for. And as women, we become spoiled, entitled, and a mess. So that's number 3. Number 4 of what a good man should never agree to with his wife, thinking it will make her happy. Going grocery shopping for her and the family or with her. And she might say, it's too much on my plate. I need you to take over the grocery shopping, or I need you to go with me and we need to do it together. Oh, I can't. Every time I go to the grocery store, I'd say most times if I'm paying attention, when I go to the grocery store, I can see a couple together and the man is just looks beat down, shut down, being dragged along, and they fight over prices, or no, you picked up the wrong thing. That's not what we get here. Just let me pick it out. All the time. I see it all the time. Or the other end of going and a man at the grocery store at himself, and actually David, my mentor, shared this story. He was grocery shopping a while back. I don't remember when this was. Doesn't really matter, I guess. But he was grocery shopping and he saw a man just looking at an aisle, and he said, "You're struggling to find what you're looking for?" He said, "Oh, I can't remember which brand my wife told me to get. And if I don't get the right brand and I come home with the wrong brand, I'm just going to get torn a new one." And I see that all the time too, that you'll never get the right thing. You'll never get the right brand. And it'll be something that she just takes out on you. Another thing you do wrong that you can't do right. Number 5. There's a couple on here though that I shouldn't have to say, but in this day and age, these things are not uncommon. I wouldn't say they're totally common, but they're not uncommon. So number 5, that a good man should never agree to with his wife is to open the marriage. I really shouldn't have to explain this much more, but I was actually just on X, I think yesterday or Thursday, and saw a Reddit post from, bless this man, a man who, him and his wife decided to open the marriage. She really wanted it. And he was wondering, she's out with her boyfriend right now and she's communicating with me and it's everything we agreed to, but I am just feeling crushed and devastated because a good man cares enough about their wives that she can coerce him and manipulate him and gaslight him to believe that is somehow a good idea. I think that one speaks for itself, but do not open the marriage. It will not make her happy, and you will end up feeling totally crushed and destroyed, and the marriage will not work out, and you will ultimately end up in divorce. So that's number 5. Number 6 that you shouldn't agree to with your wife is a vasectomy. Again, if she's trying to coerce you into getting a vasectomy because she's telling you that You need to do it. You're the one that needs to fix this because I've gone through labor. I had a difficult birth. I had to have a C-section. It's now your responsibility to step up to the plate and do this. It will not make her happy. And you having to go through that pain and go through that thinking it will make her happy, and it won't. And again, the being coerced into that is the key point of that will solve some problem that will make her happy. Number 7, a good man should never agree to with his wife. Again, of her saying that this will somehow make her happy or imply that it will make her happy. Having another baby. I have worked with many people, women and men, through the years who thought having another baby was a good idea, that that's what they needed in the marriage. And a woman will think, maybe you guys have 2 boys and she really wants a girl, but you guys decided on 2 kids, and now she's like begging you for a 3rd child. Or maybe you guys decided when you got married too that you weren't going to have children, and you both didn't want children, and now she's changed her mind and said, I really want a baby. Or women sometimes want the baby, and so when the kids get older, they want a baby again. And again, it's just another distraction from life. So number 8, that a good man should not agree to with his wife, thinking it will make her happy, is stopping drinking. And I'm not talking about a drinking problem. I'm talking about a wife nagging a good man because he likes to have a couple of drinks after work, and he's responsible and reasonable in his drinking, that she will want you to cut back because she wants to cut back or stop drinking, or she thinks and projects onto you that you drink too much and you're irresponsible, or you married the party girl who liked to have a good time, and all of a sudden she thinks drinking is immature, even just responsible, normal drinking, and now she wants you to stop. It will not make her happy. Number 9, of things good men should not agree to make their wives happy. Number 9, remodeling projects. I recently had a student come through my men's course, and his wife had constant remodeling projects, and one project wouldn't even be finished yet, and she was already wanting to start another one with no regard to time, money, energy, the stress that puts on him, the stress that puts on the relationship and the family. So it's, again, a lot of these are just another distraction from life so that they can stay focused on something else and not deal with themselves and not deal with life. And number 10 of what a good man should not agree to with his wife, thinking it will make her happy. Number 10, going to counseling. If she tells you you're the reason, your trauma and your history and your childhood are the reason that we have these issues and challenges in our marriage, and you need to go to counseling and figure yourself out and get these issues solved. Or we need to go to marriage counseling because I need you to work on these things, and we need to work on these things as a couple. It will not make her happy, and it will make you feel weak and degraded and that there is something wrong with you. When if you're a good man, you're typically reasonably adjusted to life, a problem solver, and can work through things and don't hold on to the stories of your life as the reason for your problems. That's what we do as women, that then we project onto you and psychoanalyze you. It will not make her happy. So as I was making this list of 10, and like I said, please put in the comments or the chat what I missed that you've done thinking it would make your wife happy. When I was making this list, I realized I could easily make another 10 and another 10 and another 10. But it's most important to reinforce that good men have to retire from making their wife happy, because none of these things will do it. She will just add more to the list. And you have to understand why these things won't make her happy is because she's unhappy in herself. And it's her. She's making herself unhappy. So it's her problem to fix. And you trying to fix it by doing these things or other things she tells you that implies that will solve the problem and she'll be happy will never, ever work. If you want to do these things, again, if you want to do them because it makes you feel good about who you are as a man and a husband, rather than thinking it will make her happy or solve some problem and things will be good. That's where good men get caught, and where you get stuck in that then ultimately you feel emasculated, degraded, and diminished and unappreciated. Hello again. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch today. For those women listening who know you are the problem and want a path forward to change your inner turmoil and unhappiness, I have a course for women called the Happiness Program, which is the solution to the unhealthy relationship you have with yourself and the issues and challenges you have in your marriage and your life. You can find a link below in the description to apply for a free course consultation with me. For the good men listening who want a solution to take back the power you've unknowingly given away to your wife, I have a course for you too called the Marriage Rescue Course for Good Men Only that teaches you how to rebuild your strength and confidence so that you can navigate the relationship with your wife in a healthy, constructive way. Again, you can find the link below in the description to apply for a free course consultation with me. Thank you again so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you soon.